But seriously, have you ever noticed that bit from Goodfellas where Ray Liotta's laughing really like over the top that everyone always uses as a gif? Mostly really annoying people who don't realise that that's a terrifying gif. Isn't it weird that he's laughing just straight up like Herman Munster? Right? Right? Like, there's no joy in his eyes, but it's that same kind of laugh that Herman Munster
The really strange thing is that's just Ray Liotta's actual laugh.
Yeah.
It's not acting in Goodfellas, it's just him.
That's why Scorsese mostly shoots him, like, never shoots him below the waist, because you'd see him doing the Herman Munster waddle while he's walking. Just doing the full-on Crichton, just, like, hobbling around with his head wobbling.
That's how he moves.
Every time he steps on the ground, it just completes the next bit of the theme, so just bum 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 bum.
Yeah, so they have to redub every seed he's in, and it just gets very expensive very quickly. That's why no one hires him anymore.
And that's why Hollywood doesn't hire Ray Liotta anymore. There it is, everyone. That's the entire content of a Snapchat recommended thread. There it is. There it is. Welcome back to the Big Damn Cast. Unless this is your first time, in which case, turn back now. There's nothing for you here. Unless what you're after is two ridiculously, I mean, some would say insultingly attractive northern hunks talking about popular culture, something which no one else on the internet is brave enough to do. My name is Chris, Johnson.
And my name is, you wouldn't catch me writing for Digital Spy, Watson.
And like that thing you swore you were going to get around to next week, but never do, we are just sort of lingering in the back of your mind at all times.
Gorilla kind of lingers.
Kind of lingers. I put the emphasis of, just in case an algorithm decides this is rude. You know,
fucking
earlier today, algorithm. We'll get back to him.
Hey!
Speaking of algorithms, my lovely wife earlier on this evening posted a video to her Instagram stories. Not a picture, not a YouTube upload, not a live stream.
I don't think I've watched this yet.
Well, you can't see it anymore.
What?
She posted a stream, a video post, story post.
Oh.
Of our three pets. Just chilling on the couch. It got copyright flagged. Apparently the footage she shot today of our three pets is owned by like a production company thing from the early 2000s.
What?
The internet's weird.
The internet's very weird. The internet is a wasteland that is starting to consume itself.
And yeah, about 30 seconds ago, I sang a cover of the Munsters theme song, and I bet this won't get flagged for that. So,
no, it won't, because...
No, it'll get flagged for sounding like the Fall Out Boy song Uma Thurman instead.
Oh, God.
Do you remember that period where they just didn't know what the fuck they were doing anymore?
Yeah, they're still in it.
That was... Yeah, they are still...
You just sort of ended with Folie à Deux, guys. Ended with Folie à Deux. You were fine.
I don't know. I quite like Save Rock and Roll. I think it's got its moments.
It's not as consistently strong as Folie à Deux, but...
True, but it does have Elton John.
I mean, Elton John does improve most of the time. I mean, he couldn't manage to save Kingsman 2.
He couldn't manage to save his own performance of Rocket Man during that pandemic stream last year.
Oh, gosh. I mean, he's
Rocket
getting
Man?
on, bless him.
Was it Rocket Man? It was I'm Still Standing. He was like, I'm still there. Elton, you okay? Oh, by the way, this is Big Damn Cast, everyone. Hi.
Is it?
Nerdy news, geeky gossip, and probably conversation about the things in the titles and the script.
This is the Elton John Hour.
The Elton Shower. Welcome to the Elton Shower. It's nice to see you and hear you, because we've not done it for 2 weeks, technically, because we pre-recorded the last 2 episodes.
Yes, because you were doing
off for a job.
You were doing Space Age Panto.
Or Spanto.
Panto of the Digital Age.
Yeah. The Snyder cut of pantomimes. Because because it was longer and with extended new sequences that were especially shot for this rebroadcast. The only difference is we were happier, but
Well,
I wasn't wearing a black version of Buttons' costume for no reason.
no, you weren't wearing a black version of Buttons' costume, but they made it black in post.
Yeah. There's a gag that I've recommended this to the team because they announced they're doing a Christmas show. They're doing Peter Pan, which if they can nail the technology on that, that'll look amazing. But I've already thrown my hat into the ring for a gag. Just said like, please, for the love of Pete, have a bit where it all malfunctions in one of the scenes to reveal the big green room, but all the actors in the scene are in grey onesies with ping pong balls all over them.
Sure.
To just go that extra level and pretend that even the costumes are completely CGI'd.
If they nail the technology, it will look amazing. If they don't, it will look like Up in the Club. So there we are.
Now I'm thinking of that DC Loogie video. I'm up in the club.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's important for me to tell. Do you remember when the internet was funny? I know. Do you know what the internet is now is full of trailers, Matt. What are we going to be talking about this week? Give him a contents page while I sing the countdown music from Top of the Pops.
Films and series that are coming out. We've got hot new moving images giving us little tastes of season 2 of Picard, of the imminent release of Black Widow, of something else which I can't remember because I'm distracted by Christopher's witterings. Shut up!
What's the thumbnail? And why does it look like a rabbit? So,
James Gunn's Suicide Squad trailers dropped.
That's
Two trailers. Two trailers. But we also got the other big Warner Brothers release in a shared universe.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Yeah. Oh God.
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
We're also going to be catching up on Falcon and the Winter Soldier episodes 2 and 3.
Yep.
A little bit of a rundown, so spoiler warning for those ahead of time. Matt's going to tickle our titanic testicles, kissing us on the kaijus, if you will, with a little sampler of what he thought of Warner Brothers' latest, I suppose we'll put it on streaming, Godzilla vs. Kong. Age of Fists.
Gong.
The rematch. Age of Gong.
It's just Gong.
Gong. Kong Skull Cruises to Tokyo.
Enough.
And the World Center or something. So, yeah.
Look, listen.
That's what you have to do. It's a podcast.
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Are we diving in?
Ready Player 2, innit?
It is. Shit.
They're literally doing Ready Player 1 again to the point where they're even using the Iron Giant as a weapon again.
The Iron Giant gets a hero shot, and it's just... So, Space Jam: A New Legacy. For those of you who are too young in our audience and who are wondering, why were people obsessed with Space Jam? As two 90s kids who lived through the phenomenon, we too can tell you, we have no fucking idea why people love Space Jam.
I have no idea why people like Space Jam.
We don't get it. I just... So, Space Jam is a motion picture where Michael Jordan has to team up with the Looney Tunes, who are real, fair enough, to fight off an alien mobster played by Danny DeVito, who's also animated, because reasons, who's basically going to buy the Earth and turn it into like a car park or scrap or whatever, and enslave the Looney Tunes if his team, the Monstars, legit the best joke in the film, win the basketball game against Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes. That's it. Like it's basically it's a comedy sports movie featuring the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan playing against some animated alien monsters, and that's the film. And it's kind of charming because it's always fun to see a feature film go all in on 2D animation interacting with real people, and it was sort of the first big one since Who Framed Roger Rabbit to do it, like not excusing things like Monkey Bone and that happened in the meantime. Cool World, like there were films that had done it, but
I still never got around to seeing Cool World.
Both of those movies I just mentioned are shit.
Okay,
but the hand drawn animation is nice and the interaction stuff is kind of cool. But Who Framed Roger Rabbit set the tone. That was the benchmark was set by that film. Like that film is amazing. even more amazing is watching the behind the scenes on how they did it, because it's nuts, the level of like choreography that they had for that film. Like little things like lamps being moved very gently by string in the corner of a shot in ways where you're like, why would they go to all the effort to hide that? Then you watch the film and you go, oh my god, Roger's tail just brushes against it slightly in shot. Oh my god, that's phenomenal. Like they didn't skimp around it and be like, oh, we'll just draw him in afterwards. They were like, nope, we will plan every single goddamn movement in this film so that it works. It's great. Then Space Jam did it, and it was cool because like the Looney Tunes sort of are like they're household names, but they have never been massive, really, on a scale hitherto undreamt of.
They've never just transcended like
the Looney Tunes.
They're cartoon short,
and sometimes
they've tried.
And sometimes you think that's fine because the Merry Melodies. They're fucking great.
They can just be cartoons. Like, they don't have to be movie stars.
Yeah. Now, sometimes it works. Like, Bugs popping up and some of the guys popping up in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was great. It was really fun. It was nice to see him. Bugs sharing a scene with Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck sharing a scene with Daffy from the Looney Tunes. But, like, you know, it's fine being what they are. Space Jam's fine for what it is. What's more fascinating is why it exists. Because it's a combination of... There was a bunch of, like, Air Jordan commercials or, like, Nike commercials.
I think you find it Hair Jordan.
Featuring.
Never make that noise again. I swear to God, I'll walk off the podcast.
Bugs Bunny and Michael Jadoon playing basketball against a bunch of bullies.
Michael Jadoon?
And, yeah, Michael Jadoon platoon upon the Space Doom. And, yeah, so it basically was just a series of commercials. It was like, oh, that's kind of cute. It's Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny playing basketball. This is great. Michael Jordan leaves basketball and goes to baseball. And everyone's like, okay, that's weird. For the better explanation of this, look up the YouTube channel Belated Media, who he doesn't make videos very often, if at all, anymore. But there was a streak about 6-7 years ago where he made like 2 a month. And one of them was like, he'd get a guest in and they'd go to a theatre and they'd film it in a theatre and they'd talk about a movie they love and why they're weirdly obsessed with it. And one of the episodes, he gets comedy writer Rachel Bloom on, star of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and you know, just voiced in like Trolls World Tour, and she's great. She's bloody brilliant and she's very, very funny. She wrote on Robot Chicken at the time. And they get her in to talk about her love of Space Jam, because her love of Space Jam is this morbid curiosity around the production and why it exists. Because, abridged version, Michael Jordan's late father owed a lot of money to the mob. And the belief is that the debt carried over after he died. So Michael Jordan needed to make a lot of money very quickly. Ergo, Space Jam.
How would they show that Space Jam was going to be that, though?
Because the trainers had sold well and the commercials had done well enough that Warner Brothers were like, let's turn it into a film maybe. And he was like, I don't know about this. Oh, my family might be in danger because my father has put us in danger by dying before paying off his debt.
Okay, but why does Space Jam: A New Legacy exist?
Space Jam: A New Legacy exists because 90s?
Okay.
Because 90s. Because people are growing up... Pop culture seems to be stuck in what's known as the 30-year cycle lately. It used to be a fashion thing, now it's a pop culture thing. Where the theory of the 30-year cycle, boys and girls, is that stuff that was popular 30 years ago will be popular in some form 30 years later, no matter what.
Because of nostalgia.
Think about how many films made in the 80s, late 70s through to the late 80s, were about the 50s. Like, your Greases, your Back to the Futures, like, there's a shitload of that stuff out there. Wouldn't leave them alone. Wouldn't step it away from it. Cut to the last decade, the one we've just come out of, how much 80s nostalgia filled that decade. Yeah. In particular, not so much the clothes, but definitely the music. I mean, for Christ's sake, there was a number one song about being born in the 80s. It was in there. But how many films revisited it, including the novel and film Ready Player One, which is just 80s love letter up the wazoo. Like the film sprinkles a load of 2000s and 2010s references in its visuals, but all the key stuff is still obsessed with the 80s. We're entering the 2020s now. We're in the 2020s. It's been 30 years since the 90s.
Fuck.
It's the turn of the 90s now.
No, the
and
90s were bad.
Space Jam as a sequel has been touted since the late 90s. This version went into production in 2014, was stalled for numerous reasons, and then picked back up again in 2018. So the turnaround's actually been pretty impressive for something that requires this amount of visual effects. Because they've chickened out a bit. Matt, what form of animation takes a long time but looks gorgeous and is worth it? What was the first Space Jam full of? Guess how much hand-drawn animation this one appears to have in it? About 10, 15 fucking minutes. Yeah, it's CGI after that point, which is still a labour and difficult and involves a lot of artistry, but is quicker to do.
It looks weird, though.
So Space Jam: A New Legacy's got fuck all to do with Michael Jordan. It's about LeBron James.
Looney Tunes
LeBron
look
James.
weird in 3D animation.
LeBron James.
Please don't do that.
It's a vine and it must be spoken.
Nope.
Hey,
I'm vetoing it.
10 years from now, there'll be a film about that
I'm
vine.
vetoing the vine. I'm vine-toeing it.
There'll be a film about that vine 10, 15 years from now. But LeBron James and his fictional son, like Michael Jordan's fictional kids.
Fictional entire family.
Except for him, because he's the real LeBron James.
Damn you, Johnson.
His son gets kidnapped by the basically leader of the internet, which is a character called AIG Rhythm. So Algorithm. Played by Don Cheadle, who looks like he's having fun at least.
I mean, it's Don Cheadle. He's always having fun because he wakes up in the
and
morning and goes, fucking hell, I'm Don Cheadle.
Yeah, he's like, are you finished? No, I'm done. Don Cheadle. He's playing a villain who's kidnapped LeBron James' son in exchange for, I can't remember, I think basically he'll set his son free if LeBron plays against his team in a really cool a basketball match.
Yeah, do a basketball game.
Okay. Fine. LeBron James goes to Looney Tunes World, which apparently is not a place under the earth like it was in the first one now. Now it's a planet. And LeBron James is 2D when he arrives there now, which is not how it worked in the first movie.
Nope.
But he looks great. The 2D animated stuff in the trailer looks fucking gorgeous. It looks beautiful. It's like, there we are, hand-drawn animation. Oh, how I've missed ye. Let me count the ways. And then presumably as soon as the second act turns into the third act, they get thrown to this planet where they're going to play basketball. Pros. The bad guy team, the Goon Squad, look pretty good. Like, the designs of them, they look like superheroes drawn in the Looney Tunes vein. They're all interesting visually. Like, there's one made of water, one made of fire, one's a spider, one's a snake. Like, they all look really creepy. It's like, all right, that's, one's like a gold robot. It's like, all right, okay, sure, let's go. I don't hate how the CGI Looney Tunes look, but I question why they went that route after the Tom and Jerry movie just came out, that, though not breaking any records or shattering the planet by any stretch of the imagination, they found a way to 3D animate Tom and Jerry and make them look like they were the 2D animated cartoons at the same time. And it's visually, they look really good in that film. Like, they look great. They look like the 2D cartoons.
Are you sure you weren't watching the leaked Snyder Cut when you watched Tom and Jerry?
No. I clicked on Zack Snyder's Justice League and watched Tom and Jerry by accident.
Oh, okay.
It was the other way around for me. It's the other way around for me. It was kind of brilliant, really. But they... But do you know what I mean? Like, it's odd to see. It's like, why? I don't want to see Bugs with realistic fur. He's not realistic. Like, that's at least they've gone Sonic / Detective Pikachu rather than first iteration of Sonic. Like, that they could have gone horribly the other way. Fucking okay. That's it for the pros. Cons.
Everything's in it.
The fuck, Warner Brothers? The fuck. So Warner Brothers released the first real big studio mashup film. The first really big one ever. In 2014 with the Lego Movie.
Yeah.
Yes, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, again, is the Simpsons did it of this bitch. Because, like, there's combined, 3 animation studios to get all the rights to have those characters appearing together. Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount's back catalogue, like, they all appeared courtesy of agreements and arrangements.
They were more a set of cameos as opposed to being central to the plot, like the Lego movie was, though, I would argue.
True, but that's what I'm saying. Whereas the Lego movie was like, no, do you know what? These characters are all going to speak. They're all going to do this, that, and the other. Their world's going to be intrinsic. One of our main characters is going to be Batman. Like, we're just doing this. We're doing it, everybody. And it did well. And thanks to Phil Lord and Chris Miller, it was really entertaining. Lego Batman movie's a spin-off, does the same thing. We have a whole plot with the Phantom Zone and a bunch of villains, but it works in the world of the Lego movie because we know that kid, spoiler alert for the Lego movie, that kid's got a shitload of Lego that him and his dad play with in their basement. So, fair enough. If I was a kid and I had all these villains, I'd absolutely mash them up and have a supervillain team up. Makes sense.
Sure.
Great. Sure, it's cute. British robots. There they go. Because lest we forget, Warner Brothers seem to have the film rights to the Daleks. They popped up in Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Yes.
Which the Terry Nation estate found out about after the fact and went, excuse me. So they had to pay some money for that. And yeah, the British robots in Lego Batman. Lego Movie 2, whatever, fine. But then Disney went after that. Disney chased it. They went, oh, we want me make it happen. Me want this happen too. And they made Ralph Breaks the Internet. Stupid title, should have been Ralph Wrecks the Internet. But they made Ralph Breaks the Internet. No one talks about that at all. Occasionally you'll see memes referencing the princess sleepover scene where they're all just hanging out and shooting the shit with each other. But that film's got Stormtroopers, Iron Man, Baymax, all these properties are there on screen in that film. So they had a stab at it as well. Biggest obvious example, we've already mentioned Ready Player One. Was it published 2014?
Around then, I think. Let me double check.
And then the film's 2018.
Yeah.
Because I saw it on my last day doing a job in Lincoln that Easter. So yeah. But anyway, it's just, Ready Player One is shit. But when you're watching the cinema, the very first time, you do kind of get that vibe of, oh, that's cool. Oh, Chucky. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, was that Tracer from Overwatch? Yeah, it was, yeah.
2011 was Ready Player One was published.
Ah, there you go. There we go. So it's, I think we're all kind of past the novelty of it now, aren't we? We're past the novelty of see all these things you love together on screen.
I mean, I was never really into the novelty of that.
Fair.
If I'm honest.
But this is why it's kind of odd to me that Warner are still pushing it. Now, to be fair, films like this take years to develop, and we know this one's been in development forever, and the current production started work in 2018. So back when they decided they were going to do this, there was, it was a hot thing. Everyone was doing it. But there's just something real fucking weird about seeing the White Walkers, the bald, creepy silver paint mouth guys from Fury Road, Pennywise from the It movies.
Yeah.
And more specifically, the fucking Droogs from Clockwork Orange in a kids' film.
Yeah, it's just odd.
It's weird because all these places are planets. There's the Game of Thrones planet. And it's what? The fuck? There's the Hanna-Barbera planet. Fair. Do you know what? If it was just Animaniacs and Flintstones, all Warner Brothers... if it was Warner Brothers cartoons, I'd have no weirded out reaction to it. I'd be sure, why not? Why not? Fair enough. The screenshots from Entertainment Weekly from last month where they did an article on it where it's oh, there's Pinky and the Brain in the foreground, sat on someone's shoulders watching the game. That's great. Yeah, Pinky and the Brain, go for it. Fucking give it me in spades. What's that? You've got Blue Falcons watching? Great. Cool. Great. But Danny DeVito's penguin in his creepy stained onesie is watching the game near Burgess Meredith's penguin.
Yeah.
And between them is The Mask. I'm what is happening? Lion-O and Chitara are watching the game. Why is King Kong here? Why is Mr. Freeze, specifically from Batman and Robin, in his dressing gown, watching the game? There's a shot in the trailer where Julie Newmar's Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, and Burt Ward's Robin are watching the game. Bill Rod's wobbling between them is like making like a yeah gesture, like flexing downwards. It's like, what is this? I don't get it. But we're talking about it, so I guess they did the job.
No, you're talking about it. I'm just waiting for you to finish.
Having to listen.
Yeah.
So, listeners, if you like Space Jam, if you genuinely like Space Jam, the original movie, my question to you is, why? I want actual answers. bigdamcontact@gmail.com. Because I'm so curious. I don't get it. Is it because it was like one of the first VHSs that people like guaranteed had in their home?
I never had it.
Or something.
Maybe that's why I never got it.
There you go. Where did you see it? Did you see it in the
I
cinema?
don't think I've ever seen Space Jam.
Oh. Oh, no. You know what this means.
We're going
to have to make you watch Space Jam.
No,
because
you don't know.
You're going to have either one of two reactions. You're going to either go, yeah, I mean, it was a film, or you're going to become creepily obsessed with it, and the cycle will begin anew.
No, I don't get creepily obsessed with
Is Keeks in the room with you?
Anthropomorphic bunny ladies. Yes, she is. She is.
Can you ask Keeks if she's seen Space Jam?
Keeks, have you seen Space Jam?
Yep.
Okay.
What are Keeks' thoughts on Space Jam?
What do you think of Space Jam?
I watched it once when I was quite young, and it is a fucking ride.
Is that a good ride or a bad ride?
It is a fucking ride.
Okay, alright, okay. It's a fucking ride, apparently.
Okay,
It is.
right.
I've never done drugs, but it's what I imagine they feel like.
Okay,
well,
so there you know.
Further
there you have
further experiments now need be performed.
Brendan Fraser's in it.
No, he isn't.
No, he's not. That's Looney Tunes back in action.
Looney Tunes back in action.
No, I just wanted you to believe it.
I just wanted to believe he was in it to.
I do remember someone
Wayne Knight,
Michael Jordan with a picture of it, and he was like, "Mate, I just didn't need this in my life. Like, why would you do this to me? I was having a good day."
Wayne Knight's in it, and Bill Murray makes a cameo in it, and the joke that he's in it is just like, Bill Murray, what are you doing here? And he basically says like, we have the same agent. And I believe it. I believe that's why he's in the film.
Mm.
And I like the fact that he's there coaching basketball for some reason, reasons. Point is, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, the Black Widow trailer. While you describe the Black Widow trailer,
fine.
aka Final Trailer 2.0, I'm going to open this not at all sponsored Marvel Kinder Egg surprise
all right.
treat.
That's a large Kinder Egg surprise.
It's a big one, as is the Kinder Egg, and I'm intrigued to see what the toy is. Apparently, you can scan the front QR code and find out what it is, and that sort of ruins it for me.
Yeah,
so I'm just going to open it live on air.
So,
folks.
Black Widow trailer is another trailer for the much delayed, finally coming out to cinemas and premiere access Black Widow. It's Black Widow, and she's got a dark past, and she's reconnecting with her family, and also fighting the Taskmaster, and David Harbour's there, and it's Black Widow again, and Florence Pugh Pew Pew, and it's just, I feel like I've seen more of this film than I would have ever actually watched it.
Is it safe to say that maybe they should have, and I hate to be this like sensationalist, but they should have put like a money shot in this trailer?
It's not even that. They should have
put something in it to make you go, "Oh shit, yeah, it's finally coming out." And wait, what? Because it did kind of just feel like it felt like this was just the alternate final trailer.
Well, no, because I've got a feeling that there isn't anything like that in the film.
I mean,
it's just
as far
the
as
reason
action
it's been...
set pieces go. There's one a bit like
yeah,
that,
no, but there's no
falling out of the plane.
But there's no like big money shot reveal teases in the film to put in the trailer, because it should have come out over a year ago, and they've spaffed all that already.
Now,
they
again,
haven't got anything left to show without just showing you the film. So I'm just like, why did we need another trailer? Really?
If anything, just put the final trailer from last year back into circulation and make a point of it. Or do it as a teaser and just say, like, you know, the wait is nearly over. And is it because we've... I know it sounds stupid. Are we less excited because I'm still excited to see the film.
Yeah, I think the
But
film's going to
are
be
we-
fine.
Are we less excited because we've been given some Marvel in the meantime that has actually been kind of like...
No, it's not even that. I just don't. I just think I've seen so much of the film at this point through the marketing and trailers that I'm finding it hard to get excited about. I just want to watch the damn thing.
Counterpoint. Florence Pugh Pew Pew.
Florence Pugh Pew Pew. Yeah, we like Florence Pugh Pew Pew.
I'm not making a comment on the actor Florence Pugh. I'm just,
Florence Pugh Pew Pew.
Florence Pugh Pew Pew.
Um,
It needs to be acknowledged. It needs to be said.
ha 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 ha. Guns to go
If
burr.
there's one thing I've not done, it's talk enough, and I think I need to.
What, you've not talked enough? That's a fucking lie. So yeah, there is very little to say about the Black Widow trailer, but there is much to say about the 2 trailers for the Suicide Squad.
Huh.
That have
3
made
if you
their
want to be
way.
pedantic, dear listener, but we ain't talking about the Green Band trailer for the film.
No, the red band and the green band. There's a red band and a green band.
No, there's 3.
What?
Because there's the Red Band and the Green Band of trailer,
Yeah.
and then there's the Rebellion trailer, the theatrical trailer.
Now that I haven't seen.
The one that opens. So have you seen 2 different trailers?
Yeah.
Different footage in each one?
Yeah.
So you might have seen the Rebellion one. The Rebellion one's the one that opens with Peter Capaldi voiceover.
Yeah, that's the green band trailer.
No, that's the Rebellion trailer. The Green Band trailer is a minute-long version of the Red Band trailer with the swear words and some violent scenes cut out.
Oh, I've not seen that then.
The Rebellion trailer is a Green Band trailer because it's a theatrical trailer.
Right, okay.
It's one they put exclusively in theatres, but then they kind of realised, yeah, not everyone's going to them just yet. Fuck it, put it
No
online.
one's going to them yet, but yes.
Except in America. Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah. The Suicide, it looks fun. It's got a tone. It's got a definite James Gunn tone. The characters that the trailers showcase look interesting. Starro. I guess we're doing Starro.
We got a fucking kaiju!
So, yeah, okay.
Starro, the motherfucking Conqueror, is in a DC film.
Sure.
The Justice League's first opponent is in a DC movie.
So yeah, what characters we have seen look like. John Cena's Peacemaker looks really fun. I can totally understand why they've given him a spin-off series. The Ratcatcher looks interesting.
Yes, I like that because it looks. I think she's going to be maybe not if not a central character, definitely our kind of our.
I don't think she's going to get
worldview
killed off in
into
the
it.
first 2 acts. Let's put it that way.
At least not in the first 2, because let us remind y'all that the trailer only showcases really about 6 of the team properly
Yeah, so
in terms of like giving them moments.
It's the biggest stars essentially: Bloodsport, Harley Quinn, Ratcatcher, Peacemaker, a little bit of
King Shark.
a little bit of 3D Man, and a little bit of King, and quite a bit of King Shark. Not 3D Man, Polka Dot Man. I'm thinking it getting me.
Yeah.
But yeah, King Shark, voiced by Sylvester Stallone.
The reveal that he's the voice with Steve Adgie, his physical performer, also playing one of Amanda Waller's tech crew.
Yeah.
The guy with the beard that you see throughout the trailer.
So at least he gets some on-screen FaceTime, which is good.
We get to see. Was it Rooker who's Savant?
Yes, bit of Rucker.
Pete Davidson is. I'm trying to remember who he's playing now.
Creepy and Sweaty.
Probably. He's been, as someone who does dip into SNL lately, he's clearly been feeling a lot better because they've been putting him in it a lot, and he's being really fucking funny. And it's like, oh, so this is what happens when he's like at 100% capacity now. Like he's firing on all cylinders. He's not as reliant on stuff. He's not going through paparazzi nightmares anymore. He's just like... So because of that, I'm now more excited about seeing him in this. Because I'm like, okay, let's see what you got. Blackguard he's playing. Blackguard.
Sure.
Just remember the character's name.
Why not?
Obscure-ass DC characters, which is the point of this.
So many obscure-ass DC characters.
Because we get a moment with Capaldi, who's the thinker,
Yeah.
who narrates the Rebellion trailer.
Yes. We got some.
mocking the very concept of supervillains. And it sounds like he's going Scottish as well. He's just playing it Scottish.
Yes, because why would you get Peter Capaldi and then make him not Scottish?
That's very true. And of course, David Smolchin's Polka Dot Man gets a couple of really neat moments in both trailers.
Very odd.
We sort of get a glimpse at him living a fucking like criminal high life as well. Briefly, it seems like he's having a sexy dance party with a bunch of people.
Why not?
And it's like disco lights coming out of polka dots scattered around the ceiling, and you're like, okay. So James Gunn's been answering a lot of questions on Twitter this week in relation to the film. And a few tidbits we've picked up over the week are that we've still not seen everything that they'd like to show us ahead of the film coming out, which implies there's going to be at least one more trailer.
Well, it's not out for a good while yet, is it?
4 and a bit months. It's not far away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
August. August is the release for HBO Max.
Okay, cool.
So, because the trailer barely focuses on like Captain Boomerang, although he does get a nice sort of hero reveal shot. There's a moment where you go like, "Oh shit, yeah!" and then the next thing you see is him scraping dog shit off the side of his shoe.
Yeah,
it's like that's brilliant. Javelin, Mongal. Like there are some characters that don't really get the focus. Weasel.
I don't know. Weasel gets a couple of neat shots.
He does get a couple of neat shots. Oh god, bloody Sean Gunn. Love Sean Gunn. Love it. There's more to show as of yet.
Yeah.
We don't really get anything of. I can't really call. He's called something like DBK or something like that. But basically, Nathan Fillion's playing
TDK.
Arm Fall Off.
The detachable kid.
Do you think that's the name they're going for?
I think he said that on Twitter. Yeah.
I hope so. Because because the Rebellion trailer shows his powers in action.
Yes.
Which is gross and off-putting, and I'm here for it. But yeah, also the trailer reveals quite happily that Joel Kinnaman is being allowed to be Rick Flag this time, rather than just boring military man with crush on witch.
Yeah.
Like, he even looks like the 70s, 80s Suicide Squad version of Rick Flag. Like, you know, the what's it? The side part in slicked hair, bright yellow t-shirt, guns out, buns out, guns out, suns out. Like, everything is just... This dude looks like a G.I. Joe character now, as he's meant to. Like, he's meant to look like a G.I. Joe character. Don't get to see much of Amanda Waller, but it's Viola Davis, and she was sort of the one real good thing about the first one, so yeah.
I mean, she's reliable. You put her in anything, you know you're going to have a good time. So,
how many steaks do you think she's going to eat in this one? I've seen that doing the rounds.
How many steaks will Amanda Waller eat?
But also other things we've learnt. King Shark, they've gone for the Gail Simone Secret Six Suicide Squad era version of King Shark, so we're going for the dumb monosyllabic, rather sort of jolly but still a murderer version of King
Jolly,
Shark.
but also gnawing on human heads in the background.
Just chewing a skull. The last shot of him in the main trailer is just him chewing a skull. They said that they went for the hammerhead design. That was what they wanted to do. But in just some tests, they couldn't quite get it to look right. Like they couldn't quite figure a way to shoot the always looking off to the side in a way that wasn't distracting or a bit odd.
Yeah.
So they decided to go for the new 52 Great White Shark look instead of the classic hammerhead look, which is fair enough. If you want to see the classic hammerhead look, the CW TV shows have done that version, and theirs looks pretty great. But now we've got the Great White one. If you're a fan of the Harley Quinn TV series, it's not the same kind of King Shark, but still, sharks, yay.
Yeah, not as garrulous a King Shark.
Elba delivers some pretty fucking killer lines in the trailer.
It's just his reaction to Polka Dot Man in the briefing scene is just perfect. It's perfect.
We're gonna die. Oh, I hope so. For fuck's sake. This is great. Robbie looks like she's having a fucking joy, an absolute blast playing Harley again. Like Margot knows what she's doing.
Yeah, I rewatched Birds of Prey recently, and yeah, it's silly how much better she is in the role when she's sort of
the producer.
Yeah.
And it's being written.
She has a bit more control and less sort of, and she's not being shoehorned
it's being
into
written
three
not by
different
David
films. Yeah.
Gunn has also said on Twitter that people will die.
Oh yeah, I'm expecting like at least half of these characters to not make it to the halfway point.
And I have a suspicion that some of the ones they've downplayed might be the ones to survive.
Javelin's gonna go pretty early, I think.
Maybe. Blackguard, maybe, but like, my suspicion is, even though some of these villains are genuinely like big deals in the DC comics. I mean, the Thinker, for example, like is a pretty big threat in DC comics. And here it appears that there's someone that they're breaking out so that they can use him in their plan. Do we think the Thinker is going to be unceremoniously taken off the board at a key moment where they need his skill to be used?
Maybe.
Or do we think that the Thinker, a villain who's known for like incredible strategy and mind manipulation, may or may not be teaming up with Starro, the giant alien that takes over people's brains through slow invasion or complete destruction?
Possibly.
I mean, the Thinker's teaser poster is Capaldi doing a Capaldi with his big old hands. With because they're all surrounded on their individual character posters by like a cartoon graphic of something, and his is covered in Starro. So yeah, I mean, if Capaldi ends up being the big bad, I think I'm up for that.
I'm definitely down for that, and
I'm down to clown with that one. But yeah,
I don't think Rooker's going to be in it much. I think he's going to get taken out pretty early.
You think that's a red herring?
Yeah.
James Gunn, he always puts Michael Rooker in his film.
I think Nathan Fillion's going to get taken out like straight away.
Yeah.
Just fucking beef it immediately in a really embarrassing way, because that's what James Gunn likes to do with Nathan Fillion.
I concur with your statement on Peacemaker. I can see why they're already planning.
They're
already filming.
John Cena just play. John Cena is one of those actors who could just he's so straight-faced, it's hilarious. Like,
he's an incredibly gifted comedian.
You could just give him anything to say, no matter how ridiculous, and he will do it stony-faced with complete sincerity, and that will be piss funny.
Yeah.
It's just... It's so good.
This beach was covered completely in dicks, and I had to eat every one of them for liberty. And it's just like, oh my god, why would the beach be covered in penises? And I love the fact that the Peacemaker show they're currently making is a prequel.
Yeah, so it doesn't. So you can't assume that he survives.
So he could absolutely get killed off in this movie, and that would be fine.
Yes,
because then, hey, you liked him? Well, here's a prequel with him in. He did an interview on Stephen Colbert's A Late Show yesterday, as of this recording. So it's on YouTube, folks, from earlier in the week. And they cut to him, because obviously it's on over Zoom. They cut to him, and it's a Suicide Squad poster. And he rips through it, and then takes the laptop and sets it down somewhere else so he can talk to it. Like, he just bursts through the poster, takes it and sits down, and he's in full Peacemaker costume. And reveals during the interview that he's in Peacemaker's apartment because he's coming to them from the set of the show. He was on Colbert to plug being one of the judges on the new series of Wipeout and his 2 self-help books, but he decided to do it dressed as Peacemaker.
Sure.
Because he was on the show, and he's like, well, I'll just stay in costume and I'll just do the interview on set. Fuck it, why not? I adore him, and I can't wait to see what he does with this. And I'm very excited for this movie. I really am.
Yes.
I'm really, really excited for it. Great use of the Steely Dan song "Dirty Work" in the trailer as well.
Great music choices.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to continue through the finished product in a way that puts the earlier attempt to shame.
Yeah.
One can only speculate at this point.
The weirdest thing about Aya's Suicide Squad is I really like the soundtrack album, but I hate the soundtrack in the film.
Yeah.
In the film, it's full of really obvious needle drops, and yet the album full of like 90% original tracks, music from or inspired by, is a really good like work of like metal stuff, weird trance, hip hop. Like it's like this is great. And then there's an old Eminem song and a cover of a Queen song, and also Purple Lamborghini, which is bullshit. But like Heathens by 21 Pilots is a better Suicide Squad movie than that film. Like their song Heathens that came out with the movie is like, oh yep, this is what I imagined this film would feel like.
Yeah.
Like it's this really creepy, eerie, oh shit, all these people are horrible and I'm probably gonna die kind of. It was great. And then you see the film and you're like, nope.
It is weird, like the sort of recut version of Suicide Squad that we got in the cinema is clearly trying so hard to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, it's depressing.
And then they get the Guardians of the Galaxy guy to do the sequel and be like, you fuck this up, do you want to come and do it right?
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
So
yeah, let's just hope that this time it's not a Joss Whedon situation. Doesn't sound like it is. Sounds like everybody had a really good time.
From all accounts, working with James Gunn is a pleasure.
So I'm opening this Kinder Toy as we talk.
Yes.
And segue beautifully back to Marvel for our little chinwag about Falcon and the Winter Soldier
yes.
episodes 2 and 3. Spoilers ahead. But this is a Marvel character and I've not seen the full pieces, but I'm trying to guess who it is based on what pieces I bring out the box.
Cyclops.
So, are you thinking Cyclops? We've got blue legs with yellow boots and a yellow belt.
Cyclops.
On the stand. So you're feeling Cyclops. Okay. What's this? Got, I guess that's an extension for the base.
Mm-hmm.
This appears to be a cape. A red cape.
Oh, is it some weird version of Doctor Strange then?
Oh, no. Oh, I've just seen the other half. The legs are a bit misleading.
Oh.
The legs traditionally would be black with yellow boots if we're going off of this character's classic look.
Okay.
Black with... Oh, no, actually, no, I tell a lie. It would be blue legs with a black torso. But the boots normally have a bunch of black detailing on them. So,
it's Thor.
It's the Mahaiti Thor.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah, I pulled it out and I was like, am I actually going to get an X-Men toy in my Kinder Egg?
I hope so.
I hope so. Come on, guys. We're past it now, right? We're past all this bullshit.
Did you get X-Men in my Kinders?
I'll tell you what could do with some fucking X-Men. The Marvel Avengers game. Square Enix.
Hey, I'm finally going to play it because it's going on PlayStation Plus this month.
Yeah, I hear it's gone up for... Is it a plus title?
It's a plus title and it's going on to PlayStation Now.
Wow.
So, if you've got a PlayStation Now subscription, you can play it as well.
So, is it one of those timed PlayStation Plus ones, or is it just a flat out PlayStation Plus title?
Oh, the PlayStation Plus title for April, and it's going on PlayStation Now.
Wow, they've given up all hope then.
I think they need to get some players into it. So,
I played while I was away. I took it with me because I was like, right, I'm trapped, and Keeks will tell you because she was trying to ward me off of it. She was sending me comments saying, what are you doing? Just stop.
We were all thinking that. We're getting to the point where we need to stage an intervention for you.
Well, the thing is, I hadn't played it since January was the last time I turned it on, and I thought, do you know what? I'll take it, and I'll have a go at Taking Aim and Future Imperfect, the Kate Bishop and Clint Barton expansions.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to report that, like Black Widow and Kamala Khan, Kate Bishop and Clint Barton are a fucking joy to play as. Like, they're right up my alley in terms of like combat style, control layout. I love the more rough and tumble nature of being a human who has to leg it into the fight and like really think while you're in the fight. You have to really, really be careful because you aren't flying. You aren't a god. You're not a gamma monster. Like, you've got to be careful with how you conduct yourself. That's great. That's it. Everything else is bullshit. It's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. It's bullshit. Taskmaster is teased as being in the alternate future and Future Imperfect. You go after him, but you don't fight him. You just fight Maestro, meaning they're teasing that, when we go back to this future in another storyline, you'll have to fight Taskmaster. And I'll be like, yeah, like we did in the story mode and multiple times on the war table. And I can't believe that this Avengers game still only has now 4 supervillains that have appeared in it. Total. That's it. Abomination, Taskmaster, MODOK, they're all in the main campaign, and now Maestro, who's just Abomination. It's a Hulk skin with a beard. Oh my god. So they've made it free because I guess they need a player base. They're hoping to expand the player base.
It's only free if you've got a PlayStation Plus or a PlayStation Now subscription.
But I guess they're doing it because they want to expand the player base enough that when like the Black Panther stuff comes out later in the year, people will go, "Oh, I kind of enjoyed it."
The Spider-Man stuff's still not out, is it?
Nope. By now, we were meant to have had, based on the coding in the game, the source coding of the game, we're meant to have had Black Panther, Spider-Man, and potentially Captain Marvel. So, they be slow. But speaking of Marvel, look at him there, little
Hey!
that's pretty cool. Speaking of Marvel things that beautifully and subtly incorporate X-Men elements, Falcon the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Let's catch up on episode 2, because I was a wabe for that one. We didn't record a thingy on it.
Well, let's just do brief non-spoilers on both episodes, and then we'll talk about spoilers of both, because we might as well just do them both together.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh, baby cake.
So we've got our first encounter with the new Captain America and his new sidekick,
John Walker. I loved his introduction.
Yeah,
I absolutely adored his introduction, setting up the idea of here's a military guy who's obviously been nominated. The government have gone like, right, it's going to be you. Weight of the world on his shoulders. And when we first meet him, you kind of feel worried for him. You're like, shit, this is a big thing that he's taking. Like, he's not being enhanced. He's just like, it's about being a figurehead for a paramilitary group, and he is being what Steve was sort of forced to be.
Yeah.
In the first Captain America, before he rescued Bucky and the commandos and everything. Like he's basically all he needs now is to punch out someone dressed as Hitler at that ceremony in the stadium, and that's basically the role he's serving. Although, did you notice the way they mixed in Cap's themes from the first two Captain Americas and Star Spangled Man into that made me feel such a wonderfully ambivalent mix of but no, fuck off, no,
it's very good, it's very smart.
Not Steve, what are you doing? Yeah, that was I like how they set that up, and I'm trying to remember his friend's first name now, but we shall just call him what he fucking is. Battlestar. The way that they set up them as like, no, they're good guys. Like, they've been put in this position. Someone's had to take it, as far as they're aware, and they're gonna do good. And then over the 2 episodes, it becomes rather apparent that there really is an ego element to this, a pride thing, and John Walker may not be the right person to do this. The right person to do this is very clearly Sam, but Sam passed on it, and the government have taken that as an opportunity. What a great introduction! The action figures, like signing the box, and just the coverage, like the way that the government is suddenly behind him. Because we've never really seen that. We've never seen in any of the films so far, like, the idea of the government being like, "Oh, these heroes are great," because they've never been on their side. They've just sort of put up with them.
Yeah.
It's new.
But he's a company man. And also, there is no way in hell he's not enhanced. But we'll get to that.
Well, or at least not enhanced. There's no way in hell he's not going to be not enhanced by the end of the series. Oh, do you think it's already happened?
Oh, we'll get to it in spoilers.
Okay. But yeah, so that was cool. They handled that really well, and Wyatt Russell is fucking great.
So
everybody who's harassed him off of social media needs to go get fucked, because he's a fictional character.
Yeah, like
he deleted his Instagram last week.
Very strange.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got Bucky and Sam finally come together, and with plenty of friction with the new Cap, and then they decide that the only way to they sort of fail to get in on the conspiracy.
Yeah, the Flag Smashers
on the Flag Smashers. Yeah, they discover that there's definitely more super soldier serum floating around out there, and people have definitely taken it, and decide that their only way to move forward is to bust out Zemo. So they bust Zemo out of prison and go on an adventure with Zemo to Madripoor.
Fucking Madripoor!
To Madripoor!
Oh, that made me happy.
To try and trace the underground and then, discover more about this new super soldier serum, and also bump into Sharon Carter, who's seen better days.
Who's been busy in the blip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly her support
has been busy since Civil War, never mind just the
blip.
Like...
her support for Cap has kind of got her into a lot of trouble to the point where she can't go back to the States and is sort of eking out...
using her espionage and cloak and dagger style sort of techniques to eke out a living selling and dealing in illegal art and actual art deals to the black market and rich buyers.
Like, very disenchanted. That's a really interesting take on it. But yeah, that's the basic kind of plots as to where we are. How are we feeling 3 episodes in?
The second episode was phenomenal because I didn't realise till it began. Oh shit, yeah. Sam and Bucky haven't shared a scene yet.
No.
And when it finally happens in episode 2, it's the right time in this story for them to get together.
Yeah.
The discoveries they make in episode 2 were compelling.
Yep.
The fight sequence on the trucks on the highway was brilliant in the second episode. Mm-hmm. The mounting tension with John Walker and that whole scenario was brilliant. And the payoff of finally getting to see the military therapist confrontation that we teased in the trailers was great. That scene was everything I wanted it to be, and it was brilliant.
Yeah, they really don't like each other.
No. Episode 3, some great setups. It's the first one of these, WandaVision included, it's the first episode where I was like, that was rushed. It felt like it rushed through.
See, I don't know, because
but I think that's because it just felt like it was enough material for 2 eps. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
There was more to it.
It felt quite rounded out to me, and I was like, shit, we're getting through lots of stuff here, and it's... Oh, wow, it's still only a 45-minute episode. All right, cool. I really liked all the stuff with Zemo. Like, bringing Zemo into the mix and interaction with him. I really like the Sharon Carter stuff. I don't know, I feel like episode 3... I don't feel like it was rushed, it was dense.
Yeah.
But it
yeah.
I thought there was some really, really neat character stuff in there, some really neat action in there. Very good action in there, very nicely shot action with Sharon particularly, where they've got a lot of like some of it's clearly a stunt double, but then there's also quite a few like grappling scenes and stuff where they shoot it in a way to make sure you see Emily Van Camp's face.
Yeah,
doing some of the bits, which is really neat.
Brilliant work in that. In that sequence, that was my favourite sequence in episode 3. The choreography of it and the shooting of it was like, oh shit! Like it felt like we were watching. Felt like we were watching like a season opener of 24 or something, you know, like where it's like the one episode where they spend all the money to make the action sequence look so fucking solid.
It had a bit of the grittier action of some of the Netflix stuff in it. It was a bit more like a Daredevil fight scene or a Jessica Jones fight scene. There is one slight problem I have with the characterization so far, but I'm going to get into it in spoilers. But suffice to say that I'm not completely sold on the villain at the moment.
I feel you. I see what you're getting at. Shall we crack in?
Yeah.
Let's crack into spoilers, boys and goilers.
So,
spoiler warning, rah, rah, rah. Spoiler warning, blah, blah, blah.
I'm going to say, I think that John Walker's already been enhanced because of the way look at the way he throws the shield and catches it.
I mean, they do show you in episode 2 an extensive training montage with him.
Yeah, but I don't know. That shield, though. And also, I
mean, we know it's possible. We know in the trailer footage that Sam's going to be able to do shit like that at some point.
Well, I don't know, because you see him, like... He throws it and sticks it in a tree, but it doesn't come back into him and catch it, you know what I mean?
True.
And
then again, like, Natasha used it in Age of Ultron briefly, and she did some good work with it.
But also, we know that there's at least 20 doses of the super soldier serum out there. This new enhanced serum.
8 have been used. 12 still to go.
8 have definitely been used. It doesn't bulk you up like the original version did.
That was brilliant. Let me pull up the name of the character, because that was genius. The where's his name?
The chemist who reverse engineers it and
it's not
improves
listed
it.
on this thing, but Nagel.
Yeah.
Nagel. Wilfred Nagel, who was in the comics the guy behind the first take on the super soldier serum, because he was a World War II era character. He was the first or second. No, he's the second person to do it after Erskine, because he's the guy who created it in the comics when it was given to Isaiah Bradley.
Yes, who we also get in episode 2.
That's my favourite fucking inclusion.
It's very good.
I love it. So for those who don't know, Isaiah Bradley in the comics, there was another Captain America for a while, and it's a big deal because it was an African American guy.
No, if I remember in the comics,
he's in like one story initially, isn't he? It was like one like arc. Here's the story about this guy and what happened to him.
I believe,
and then at the end, he and Steve kind of meet and in the modern day and touch base. But then Isaiah has stuck around and popped up in storylines from time to time in the comics.
If I remember correctly, he was one of the initial test subjects before Steve got the serum. They tested it on a bunch of black soldiers.
Yes, because Erskine was the one who finally completed it as the version that they wanted. And stuff, and that was But you're right, because that was the whole tragedy of it. Was essentially the first Captain America who they sent behind enemy lines and all this was a black man. And then when they decided that they were going to go, and here it is, the perfect soldier, they gave it to a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy.
Which is exactly what they've done here.
Yeah, whereas in this version, it's post-Cap, isn't it? In this one, it's after Cap's died.
Yeah.
Someone's tried to keep going with it.
But again, he still didn't get to be Captain America.
He didn't get to be Captain America. He's fought the Winter Soldier. They encountered each other, at least once. And he apparently was good enough in the fight that he ripped Bucky's arm off, his metal arm. So it's like, oh shit. So I'll be interested to see how Hydra dealt with that mission after he got back. It's like, fuck, what happened to you?
Yeah.
Which is also impressive because this series establishes that the Winter Soldier takes no prisoners already, with a flashback that his mate's son that he killed.
Yeah.
And stuff. So they've set up the idea that no one survives a sighting of this guy when he was a sleeper agent, never mind a fight with him. So Isaiah is absolutely worthy of the mantle of Captain America. And yet, complications and no one fighting on his side once the legality was brought in, and he was thrown in prison for 30 years.
Yep.
And left to rot.
And it's an idea that is immediately capitalised on with police pulling up when Sam and Buck get heated in the street, and Sam immediately being seen as hostile.
Yep.
And they don't have the moment where they turn to the camera and go, "It's because we're black men." It just kind of.
It doesn't need to.
It lets it goes sit with the characters. Saying,
which is, of course, depressing.
Yeah.
That that's even the case.
Yeah.
But it's powerful to see, and this is absolutely a series that is going to focus on the African American experience, the black experience in America. I mean, even down to little things. There's a joke earlier in that sequence where they first arrive at the neighborhood, and the kid recognizes Sam, and he goes, "Hey, it's Black Falcon." Sam goes, "Not Black Falcon." He's like, "Yeah." It's like, "It's just Falcon." "Oh, do you think I was called Black Falcon because I'm black?" "Yeah." "What do they call you, Black Kid?" And he sort of high fives the kid's older brother.
Yeah.
And stuff. But it's just like, even that is a bit of commentary. It's like, isn't it weird how many heroes that were, genuinely progressive, and it's brilliant that they exist, but, Black Panther, Black Lightning, around the 60s, 70s, when suddenly these writers were going, we need more characters that aren't white. We need to expand the roster and be diverse and represent. They did it, but so many of them had to come with almost that unwritten rule.
Also,
they need to be black something.
Also, a lot of those characters were being written by white dudes.
Yeah, which again, they to their credit, they were making sure that the scene was changing. But it's also it sucks that that's what it took. It sucks that those writers' rooms were full of just white dudes. There needed to be more voices behind the scenes. It's, you know what I mean? It's that weird one of yay, thank you, Stan and Jack, for Black Panther. but it's weird that it took like 20 years before Black Panther had someone writing for him that was black.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you know, it's not like, well, black people should only write the black characters and white people should. It's not that. It's more that the staffs were a certain demographic for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wanting to make the staff more diverse and making sure these characters have someone working on them who has first-hand experience of some of the issues that they will be dealing with, you know?
Yeah, especially if the books are about like the social, political, racial issues around everything. It you know, it stands to reason that there should be voices like that. And this series absolutely has that and has decided to utilise that in its structure. Carly Morgenthau. I've got to say, as an idea, as a plot idea, I like that in this universe, in the MCU, the Flag Smasher, or in this case, Carly and the Flag Smashers, are, you know, as we discussed the other week, it's sort of a domestic terrorist group, well, less domestic now because they're travelling the world, but that are like, hey, it's the Robin Hood principle. The world was better off.
The problem...
when half of everyone was gone because there was suddenly more money and more resources, and yes, everyone was fucking miserable. We all mourned people. Of course we did. But we have now... essentially, without them crediting him because they wouldn't know necessarily his motivation... these are people who are this is who Thanos was talking about. Yeah. Like, eventually people will wake up and realise I made the right decision as far as his ethos is concerned. But then again... these guys are operating on that. They're like, look at the poverty. Look at how everyone's being fucked over by the system now that we've come back. Like, it was better when they were gone. Their thing is to topple power structure, isn't it? To take...
Well, yeah, because the problem is that even with all the people come back, there is still enough to go around. It's just not being distributed properly. Yeah. But the problem that I have with it is you get this dialogue with her and the other dude, whose name I forget.
Long-haired, very pretty man.
Yes, very pretty man. Where they become across as sympathetic, and you find yourself sort of agreeing with them, and then all of a sudden she bombs a building full of unarmed people, just to remind you that she's evil, and it's just like.
Yeah, that was odd to me. I agree with you. In episode 3, when that happened, it was like, wait, what?
You begin to engage with this supposed villain, and instead of doing something interesting, like maybe sort of maybe she's in the right, maybe she has got some ideas, maybe she's just going about it the wrong way. They're like, oh no, she's evil. She just bombed a building full of people. Oh well. So I hope they don't go too much further down that road with her, because I don't like that at all.
I wonder if it's more to do with the power broker, who seems to be our big bad, and we don't know who they are yet, or what have you. But
because she blew up the building.
She did, but she's under pressure from the threats of whoever this power broker is.
Yeah,
Episode 2 set up the idea that someone's on their tail, apparently knows where they are, and is threatening to kill them.
Well, they've got the rest of the super soldier serum, haven't they?
The power broker.
The flag smashers.
The flag smashers. Yeah,
they've got the
power
other
broker
doses.
wants it back because, as we learn in episode 3, what's his face? Christ, I've already forgotten his name. Nagel. That's the one. Created the revised version of the super soldier serum, nearly perfected it, and then disappeared in the snap. Yeah. And came back 5 years later to find that the whole project was abandoned, because without him, they obviously just went, oh fuck, and they just called it. Yeah. He's come back. He's recently made... Yeah, he came back. The power broker approached him and went, I'll fund you. Let's go. Pick it up, boy. So he did, created 20 doses, and they've been nicked by the flag smashers.
And then the lab gets blown up.
So someone's trying to cover the tracks, obviously, as well. Yeah. Someone's trying to keep it covered. But I'm wondering whether or not Carly... Because there's a throwaway reference that the power broker has a hand in, like, that security organisation that they stole from. Or at least she's leaving that message for him. When she said, you've got to, like, this is the only language these people understand.
Yeah, but he's just killing a bunch of people.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Like, considering she's about innocent lives, it seems kind of odd that she would go, let's kill all those guards.
Even if they are working for a security force, like, they're still people. Maybe
she'll deal with this in the next 3. Maybe we'll see her confront herself on it. But I know you mean it was a bit shocking, but I think that's to me was part of episode 3's flaws. It did feel too truncated for me. It felt like we were going bam, bam, bam.
I mean, we'll
bam,
see where it goes. It just felt odd to me to like try and make this character more sympathetic, and then oh no, she's evil. She bombed a bunch of people. Oh, don't worry about it. You don't have to sympathise with them. So we'll see where that goes.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why I was sort of sad that when Zemo was brought into it, it's almost like we fast forwarded through character development for him, in a way that they could have got away with if it was like, this is just the sort of person he's become in the 7 years he's been imprisoned.
Which I think it kind of is in a way.
It is, but it also was kind of just like, wait, what? Huh? Because when we first meet him in Civil War, we know that he was like special ops. He's like, master tactician. Brilliant combatant. Sniper and hand-to-hand combat and firearms. We don't see it in Civil War. It's the one scene that film's kind of missing, but we learn in Civil War that he impersonated Bucky at one of those scenes, because we learn about the face mapping thing.
Oh yeah.
But we never see it. All I ever wanted is in this hotel room, just one scene of him stuffing like a bunch of clay or whatever into a bag. Do you know what I mean? Like prosthesis or something.
Yeah.
Just needed like one little, because it's in a throwaway line of dialogue, and you're like, huh. So I felt like we needed to see that at least. But anyway, so we knew that his family was Sokovian.
Yeah.
His family lived outside of Sokovia and died in the collapse of Sokovia. Like, they weren't on the island, on the island, as it were, that was tore out the ground by Ultron. They were in the fallout. He was away from home at the time. We know that the last thing his wife ever said to him was in a voicemail, which he's refusing to delete because he just picks it up and listens to it from time to time. We know that, he's a very tragic character in Civil War. And then in this, it just sort of goes like, oh, by the way, I was rich as shit and had connections in Crime City, and also I'm kind of eccentric now. Now, that felt like the fuck out of nowhere for someone who loves Civil War. It just comes the fuck out of nowhere. But as far as like this piece of TV goes, Daniel Bruhl was the best thing about this episode.
Oh yeah.
He was so entertaining. Like, he's still manipulative. He's still not to be trusted. He's clearly waiting for the ideal moment to fuck them over.
But now he can also groove on the dance floor.
In this, when he could escape, he doesn't. He sneaks off to shoot the rest of the bad guys.
Yeah.
And then he's like, right, come on, get in the car, let's go. And it's like, he's gonna fucking flip the script on them sometime soon. He's gonna do it. But then we get those moments like, oh, so he's rich. Now he's wearing a pimp coat that sort of looks like it's kind of a Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo usually has like the fur kind of collar on his costume, so he's got a big furry collar on his coat.
Yeah.
He obviously has he admires the theatrical, at least, because he seems to have a mask from his like special ops days. That's this, it's the mask. It's the Zemo mask. Although I noticed it's more military. Like, it looks like it's just a purple version of like what you'd get for someone who's got completely undercover.
Yeah.
There's no adornments or logos.
There's no tiara.
There's no tiara. There's no leopard spots on the.
And it's not permanently stuck to his face with adhesive X.
Yet. I'm totally waiting for him to have a gold handgun at some point. Or a gold revolver. It's just a matter of time, innit? Let's be honest. Just walking around with a rich man's gun. He's got a fucking Osborne butler.
Yep.
As in, that butler is old as shit.
Yeah, he's got Prince Philip as a butler.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I can forgive the character, the severe character swerve, just basically off of the fact that he's really entertaining in it. And like you said, can bust a move. It's a terrible move, but his gusto made it gif-worthy immediately. I loved that. It's like, that's why I wish it was a two-part. I would have loved to have seen like a 15-minute sequence in Sharon Carter's club while they're waiting for it to give the sign that they're ready to go. But for what it was worth, it was still a fun little montage of them all looking awkward as fuck. Except for Zemo, who's just going for it, probably because he's been locked in a cell for 7 years. And he's like,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna boogie.
I think that's-
I'm gonna groove. Why not?
I think that's kind of what you can put down more eccentric behaviour to, the fact that he's just been in prison for 7 years.
Yeah.
And for 5 of those years, we don't know how alone he was.
Yeah, probably only had a guard or two. I liked Madripoor. I just like that Madripoor was in
Yeah,
it.
it's just Madripoor, innit?
Fuck me, it was Madripoor.
Madripoor, baby.
We went, and it's a little more flashier than its comic counterpart, but they do kind of make a point of there being high town and low town.
Yeah.
Like the bridge sort of separates a slummier, shittier area.
There
from,
is
like essentially Dubai. Like one side is Dubai.
I mean that is kind of comics Madripoor though.
Yeah.
It's the high roller
flying
area. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I dug the fuck out of that. And I mean, the internet, of course, lost its shit immediately, going, oh, X-Men theory. No, it's just a nod to a character, a location that's synonymous with Wolverine. It's not necessarily the beginning of the. Piss off. Let these shows be what they are, and just appreciate that. Holy shit, we have a set piece in Madripoor.
Yeah,
like this is cool. I can't remember the name of the bar now that they went to, the main place, but it's one of the spots that Wolverine frequented in the comics' patch, apparently.
Called? That bar. That one bar.
That fucking bar.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Whatever it's called.
To meet Selby, who was a really nice addition. Thought she was very cool.
They were cool.
And yeah, the way that they played off Sam. Who was Sam disguised as? Because that was a character as well.
Smiling Tiger.
Smiling Tiger. Shit, there you go. Tying back into his sister as well with the phone call. I hope we do get back to that properly. But that was great. That entire sequence, the way that Bucky, for the first time since Endgame, and for the first time since before that with human enemies, lost his shit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're like, oh, you're still really violent.
Oh, yeah.
You really are restraining yourself, aren't you?
Like,
oh my god. Yeah, but it made me appreciate Endgame and Infinity War even more, because that's him going, no consequences. These things are just like teeth and arms. I'm just going to keep punching them. And it's like, sure, go for it. But yeah, Sharon kicking ass. And then teasing that she's probably going to be back in the next couple of weeks.
Oh,
She answers to someone else. But the nicest twist was at the end.
Yeah.
As they arrived in Latvia and Bucky spots the Wakandan, the beads. The what are they called now? The thingy beads. I can't remember what they're called now. They have a name.
They have a name, but they're beads. They're special beads.
They're there. And we're confronted by Ayo of the Dora Milaje, who we have seen. She was in Black Panther and in Infinity War. She's the one who was sort of like Okoye's second in command.
Yeah.
So this makes me happy because it means we're expanding our Black Panther cast properly and letting them flesh out a little. But also, holy shit, Matt, Wakanda's getting involved in the story.
Yes.
Holy shit, which makes sense. Because of course, the dude who killed T'Chaka.
And they've got a vested interest in making sure that Bucky's, stays on the straight and narrow, because they deprogrammed him, essentially.
They deprogrammed him. They know that Zemo's the one who actually blew up the United Nations thingy.
Yeah.
And Bucky's working with Zemo. Wakanda ain't gonna be happy about that. I honestly... Did you see it coming? Because I had no idea this was coming.
No.
And it was a really pleasant surprise. As soon as it happened, it was like, of course.
I mean, as soon as I saw the bead, I was like, okay, who's it going to be? But it's going to be someone from Wakanda.
Yeah. But just prior to that happening in the episode, I had no inclination.
But
then it made perfect sense. Like, it just was like, of course. Of fucking course, Wakanda are going to be like, hi, Bucky. You're right, White Wolf. The fuck you doing? And who the fuck you doing it with?
Yeah.
Like, you broke him out, for fuck's sake.
It does kind of raise the uncomfortable question of whether they're going to address T'Challa.
I guess that is down to...
And his sort of status and, the sad passing of Chadwick Boseman last year.
I guess that's down to Coogler. I guess Coogler would have the say on what they're going to do with that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more phrasing of like he's wanted for crimes against the royal family of Wakanda. Do you know what I mean? Like he killed our king. Like, because all of that still, I think you can do it without outwardly acknowledging T'Challa. But if they do acknowledge T'Challa, then it's world building. I guess it's like we know that at the time of this, T'Challa is still around in the MCU. And Black Panther 2, I guess, will be the first thing that goes, here's the status quo. Like, here's where things are at now. But yeah, I just like the fact that we have a whole sandbox and they're going, yeah, we're going to use it. We're going to play in the whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
be silly not to.
We're going to tell a self-contained story, but if that self-contained story has ramifications over here, then of course over here's got something to fucking say about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's interconnected, which is neat. It just makes it feel more like a world.
Speaking of a world,
yes.
You saw a globe-trotting, lizard-punching, monkey-throttling movie this past week.
Yeah, so I this weekend...
that travels around and indeed through the world,
indeed.
as far as I know.
Indeed. This weekend we plumped up the rental cost for Godzilla vs. Kong.
Age of punching.
Well.
Dawn of
so much
throttles.
punching. Monkey versus lizard.
How long does it run? Is it a good 2 hours? Just over 2 hours?
Just under 2 hours.
Just under 2 hours?
It's the shortest of the MonsterVerse films so far.
Yeah, this is the fourth film in the series after Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and here we have Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yep.
No spoilers, folks.
No
We'll go into a
spoilers.
bit more next week. But
I'll just talk about it briefly to say that I really liked all of the MonsterVerse films so far, and I also really liked this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, we came away from King of the Monsters sort of split on that.
I really like King of the Monsters. And having rewatched it since, I still really like King of the Monsters.
I wasn't surprised to learn that you like this one too,
yeah, King of the Monsters is thunderously stupid, and this is similarly thunderously stupid, but doesn't sort of get bogged down in the human drama as much, which I think was what kind of killed King of the Monsters for some people.
It was my least favourite element of it.
Yeah, there's less of that here. You do get a couple of returning characters, like Millie Bobby Brown and Kyle Chandler return as the Russells. And you get some new human characters. You got Alexander Skarsgård's in this, Rebecca Hall's in this. Fucking who else is in this? Julian.
Billy Humhay.
Oh, what's his name? He's in Deadpool 2 and Hunt for the Wilder People. Julian Dennison.
Oh yes, yeah. Fire Fist.
Yeah, Brian Tyree Henry. You got decent actors like doing stuff around the periphery, but really it is just about big monsters and spectacle.
So it's been 40 plus years since the events of Kong Skull Island.
Yes,
a film in which they establish he's not done growing yet.
No.
Is Monkey Boy as big as he needs to be to fight Godzilla now?
I believe the official in-universe measurements peg Godzilla at 393 feet tall, and the fully grown Kong in this film at 363.
So he's reaching up there.
He's a large boy.
Yeah.
And the film does a really good job of the fluidity of the action scenes with the two monsters in particular is really stunning.
Like they have choreographed these scenes to a T.
And the way the camera follows the action is really interesting as well. Like it really uses the fact that this is CG to sort of dump you into it, as opposed to just watching two CG creatures sort of bash each other in a sort of static ways. I will say, again, without spoilers, you, as director Adam Wingard said, there is a definitive winner.
Okay.
But there is more to it than just Godzilla and Kong throwing down.
Without going into any spoilers at all,
Okay.
does it fall into the versus trap of final act is them fighting something else? Or against another thing that's maybe oppressing them or whatever?
It's not a trap,
Okay.
but it's possible
Okay.
that there's something like that in there. Yeah.
Something else at play. Okay.
I will say
yeah.
this.
Yeah?
There is maybe not villainous, but certainly slightly dodgy corporation called Apex, who specialize
Of course they're called Apex.
who specialize in cybernetics.
Oh! My follow-up question was going to be, is anything else from, like, the Toho canon introduced? Like, King of the Monsters obviously went ham on it and was like, here's, like, 6 or 7 ones you recognise, old school fans.
Maybe.
Cybernetics, you say? Okay. Do we get any more Skull Island style creepy crawly sort of additions? Because one thing that film did really well was introduce fucking creepy monsters into the canon. Do we get any like skull crawlers rocking up?
Well, but part of the plot,
Which I'm guessing against Kong now look like just like spiders.
Well,
to him. They must be that small compared to him now.
part of the plot is that they want to use Kong to lead them into the Hollow Earth.
Okay.
So because they haven't really managed to get...
they have gone all in on that. That's something they keep mentioning in all of the films in a way where you're like, is this going to pay off?
Getting into the Hollow Earth, which is something that they've not managed as humans yet, because the gravitational forces are so extreme that you'd be crushed into a ball as you reach the interior. So part of that is a major part of the plot, and so there is some exploration of very Skull Island-esque biomes and some new creature designs that are not necessarily kaiju. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So Skull Island is like an overspill of this extended monster-friendly area, as it were.
Yeah.
Oh, because they say in King of the Monsters, don't they? That's how Godzilla gets from place to place so quick, is that he possibly uses this...
The Hollow Earth.
...network of to get from place to place. Or she, rather. Okay. Alright. I'm trying to think of any other questions that won't be too spoilery. Do they leave it open for more?
Yeah, absolutely.
But does this work as a sort of, if this is the last one, sure, this is the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because fucking hell, like, the internet needs to shut the fuck up now with their Restore the Something verses.
Oh, God,
this is getting ridiculous. You've seen it, I'm guessing, Restore the Monsterverse.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't...
It's like, what do you mean Restore the Monsterverse?
I wouldn't...
It's still happening, right? A new one came out, just because they've not told you if there's another one. Like, what the fuck?
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get another Monsterverse film. But, because King of the Monsters didn't do that well.
And this one, of course, is going to, like all films coming out from Warner Brothers this year, it's going to take a financial hit.
In a normal year, this would have been a really, really poor performance, but it's actually had the best box office opening since the pandemic started.
Yeah.
So
people want to see big monsters punching each other.
For all things considered, it's doing pretty well in cinemas, and also it's available on video on demand. So that's a revenue stream. I think it's great fun.
Ultimately, it could just be making up for the loss of the last one, for example.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers might look at it as, well, we've made our profit overall. Let's call it there.
I think these Monsterverse films have generally been a pretty successful run. I think this is great. It's very stupid. Like, it has got a plot where if you actually take a moment to think about it, it just falls apart completely. But you're having so much fun with the monster fights that you don't really care. Like, it is It is a film that will pummel you into submission with the weight of its action and spectacle. I think it's really good. It's really fun.
Okay, in that case, please award it an arbitrary score based on how many fish you think it deserves, sponsored by Nick Totopoulos from the 1998 movie Godzilla.
That's a lot of fish.
Oh, good. Okay, fair enough. If folks want to hear some more, we'll go spoil.
Yeah, we'll go spoiler on it next week because if you get a chance to watch it, it'd be great. If not, I'll just tell you things about it, we did with the Snyder Cut.
Oh baby, which got a lot of attention last week. I think people were pleasantly surprised or completely dumbfounded by.
I was pleasantly surprised and completely dumbfounded by my reaction to the Snyder Cut. So do it like it does.
Do it like a brother.
Do it like it does.
Do it like a dude.
What else can people do, Christopher?
Get the fuck out of my kitchen. But if you do want to get in touch, slink out of the house, drop trow, open up your tablet, and just before you dollop it on the send button, type in bigdamncontact@gmail.com. Send us any questions, queries, or reviews you have about the stuff we've been talking about this week. If you want to get in your review for Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 4 and have your thoughts read out next week, hurry the hell up, you bastards. You can also tweet us at BigDamnCast on the Twitter and catch Matt live every Friday from 7:30 on twitch.tv/BigDamnStream with adventures in backlogging. But until then, Matt, who would win out of a fight between Godzuki and Kong Jr.?
Scrappy Doo.
Let me at him! Let me at him!